Welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here with us today. Look, our goal right now is to completely demystify that constant, non-stop mental chatter going on inside your head right this very second. To do this, we're going to lean on some absolutely brilliant insights directly from Michael A. Singer's book, The Untethered Soul. We're going to explore exactly how you can step back from all that noise, observe what's actually happening inside, and ultimately find a much, much deeper sense of inner peace and freedom. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Right now, who is talking inside your head? Seriously, think about it. There is this incessant, slightly neurotic internal monologue happening inside your brain right now. It's that exact voice that's probably saying, wait, what voice? I don't have a voice in my head. Well, guess what? That is exactly the voice we're talking about. It literally never shuts up. It constantly narrates your life, worrying about tomorrow, agonizing over yesterday. We've all got it, but very few of us actually take a step back to figure out who or what it actually is.
And that brings us to the absolute core premise of Singer's work. You are not that voice. Singer actually shares this fascinating story from the early 1970s. He was a young economics student studying for his doctorate, just sitting with a friend, and during this quiet lull in the conversation, he suddenly became acutely aware of the thoughts just racing through his head. In that exact moment it hit him, he wasn't the voice expressing all those doubts and anxieties. He was just the observer listening to that voice. You see, you are the one who hears the mind. Your existence doesn't actually depend on the act of thinking at all.
Section 1. Meet your inner roommate, externalizing the mind.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how Singer actually frames the psyche. He personifies this inner voice as an inner roommate. And by externalizing the mind like this, treating it as a literal roommate living inside your head, it really helps us stop automatically identifying with its non-stop commentary. I mean, think about it. If a real physical person walked around with you all day, constantly complaining, judging everyone you meet, and warning you about absolute worst-case scenarios, you'd probably ask them to move out, right? You wouldn't put up with it. Yet we tolerate this exact behavior from our inner roommate every single day.
Let's walk through some of the defining traits of this inner roommate. First off, it never shuts up, like ever. It's constantly trying to create this perfectly predictable world just to protect you from pain. But because it basically operates out of fear and insecurity, it ends up giving you what Singer calls psychologically damaged advice. It tries to conjure up outer, real-world solutions for internal problems, and it spends a massive amount of energy just protecting your ego. Imagine how much precious, vital energy we waste just letting this roommate try to shield us from the natural, everyday unfolding of life.
Section 2. The Trap of Overthinking, the Illusion of Control.
You know, most of us operate in what Singer calls outer solution consciousness. Basically, if we feel insecure, we try to rearrange the outside world to fix it. We try to make more money, we try to change the people around us, or we obsessively control situations just to feel safe. But let's be real. Nobody has ever truly become permanently okay just by changing external things. There's always going to be another problem popping up. True freedom requires an inner shift, an inner solution. And that means going inside and letting go of the part of you that gets so easily disturbed by reality in the first place.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why that constant outer struggle happens. It's because of what Singer calls samskaras. Think of samskaras as accumulated psychological blockages. It's kind of like emotional plaque building up in your arteries. They just sit there, totally quiet, until a specific memory or sensory experience triggers them. And when they get triggered, well, every day, normal people incur massive, hidden costs trying to protect these stored issues. We avoid certain conversations, certain places, certain people, all just to maintain our psychological defenses. Eventually, our whole life becomes entirely structured around making sure we don't poke our own inner wounds.
Section 3. Becoming the conscious observer, stepping back into the seat of self.
What's really amazing here is that Singer's spiritual concept is actually deeply, solidly grounded in modern psychological science. In modern therapies like acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, there's this technique called cognitive diffusion. It's this core skill designed to reduce the literal quality of a thought. So instead of saying, I am a failure, which literally fuses your identity to the thought, you say, I am having the thought that I am a failure. See the difference? You step back. You stop treating private neurotic mental events as if they are absolute reality.
This simple act of stepping back leads us directly to what Singer calls the seat of self. You are not the thinking mind. You are the consciousness behind it. You are aware that you're aware. Look, all consciousness is essentially the same. It's pure awareness. The only real difference is where you focus that awareness. Most people focus entirely on the mental chatter, but an awakened being lives in the now by witnessing the mind rather than believing they actually are the mind. They take their place right in the seat of the conscious observer.
I want to just pause for a second and read this incredible quote right from the source. You realize that you're not who you thought you were. You're not even a human being. You just happen to be watching one. Wow. Just let that sink in. It is profoundly liberating to realize that our fundamental existence isn't chained to our daily human drama or our constant looping thoughts. We are simply the awareness watching it all unfold.
Section 4. The Art of Letting Go, Relax and Release. Let's move to and see how this builds into practical action when real emotions hit.
Consider the everyday triggers we all face. A car cuts you off in traffic, you get a nasty passive-aggressive email from a coworker, you feel that sharp sting of Instagram FOMO, or maybe the kids are just driving you absolutely nuts. I really want you to think back and remember the last time one of these things triggered a wave of inner panic, anger, or frustration in you. You know the feeling, right? Your heart immediately closed up, your chest got tight, and your inner roommate instantly started shouting.
So, when those triggers hit, Singer offers a highly actionable technique. He calls it the relax and release method. It's 4 easy steps. First, just notice the thought or worry forming. Catch it. Second, step back and gently label it. Just say thinking or judging. Third, and this is absolutely key, physically soften and relax your chest and your heart on the exhale. Just let it out. And finally, let the emotional energy just move through you and pass. Don't suppress the feelings, but don't feed them either. Just let the emotional wave complete its natural cycle without tensing up your body or your mind.
Notice the concept of the Tao here, or walking the middle path, which is perfectly represented by that center line. When you actually practice relax and release, you stop feeding energy into those wild emotional peaks and valleys. By refusing to participate in the extremes, by simply observing them and letting go, the pendulum naturally, effortlessly returns right back to the center. And as it comes back to the center, all that energy you used to waste on overthinking, it suddenly becomes available to you again.
Section 5. Everyday Steps for Inner Peace. The Reward of Unconditional Happiness. So, the crucial point is that the result of all this work is absolute liberation. Seriously, releasing our psychological baggage and stopping that exhausting, endless work of protecting our fragile egos stops us from wasting our energy. It leads to a permanently open heart where your inner energy just flows completely freely. You actually get to walk through the world experiencing life exactly as it is without a single problem weighing on your mind. That is pure, unadulterated inner freedom.
I want to end this explainer with a really provocative but simple question from Michael Singer. Do you want to be happy or do you not want to be happy? It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But it actually requires a real commitment to unconditional happiness. Not, I'll be happy if I get a raise, or I'll be happy when traffic finally clears up. Unconditional happiness. Once you make that choice without any ifs, ands, or buts, your path becomes incredibly clear. I highly encourage you to go out today, take a step back, and simply observe that voice in your mind. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you leave today feeling just a little more untethered.